Hey everybody, it's Bus, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're going to be taking on the Star Forger, the new one out of the Darkened Saga Domination set, doing battle up against Aurelion Soul. Excuse me, today we'll be doing battle with our 3-star Illaoi. And so, this is kind of an interesting one. Lots of different cycling champions throughout the course of the adventure. Lots of legendary abilities for us to encounter along the way. And so we'll have to see which adventure we're going on, what we're doing battle with. And so everything with this adventure, when the foe summons a champion or levels it up, it's going to double its stats. This counts twice if you're flipping the champion as soon as it comes down. So if you've already met the level up requirement, say that you have an Ezreal, right? Ezreal comes down as a 1-3, that will double up to 2-6, and then it will double again up to 4-8. But it's typically spread out, but it is worth noting that if your opponent's dropping flipped champions on you, they're going to be big. And so with this, we typically want to have something interactive. That's not what Illaoi has. If we want to pull up Illaoi real quick, we could take a look at her starting deck. She is not good at interacting with our opponent's units. It's just kind of a big stat fest, right? A big festival of stats coming across all of our units. So that's going to be the big thing that we're looking for out of this Illaoi deck, is finding a way to interact with our opponent's plays. But before we get that far along, let's take a peek at everything we're working with. Our Illaoi is 3 stars, so when the allies attack, we spawn 3. We get the +1 starting mana, and then at the round start, we vulnerable the weakest enemy unit. In terms of relics, I like to have Crown Guard Inheritance. This is when I level up Rally, and then the Lost Chapter, so that when we summon Illaoi, we get 3 spell mana back. Let us have some really big and high impact plays. Typically, if you're flipping your Illaoi and rallying, you've won the game at that point, and so really high-powered stuff here, assuming we can get to that stage of the game, turn 6, turn 7, when we can safely drop Illaoi and get a big attack in. And so, that's it. Let's head on to the peak, head on up. We can get the adventure thing to load. I don't know why Riot makes this so hard to do. Trying. Are we going to do it? There we go. Wow. Wow. What else is there to say? But all right, well, there was a Poppy in the middle. I missed the mid-round champion. And then, of course, Aurelion Soul at the end was at Sejuani. Okay, so on to the powers. What do we have? The Sticky Fingers Nab don't want, Bouncing Blades aren't really looking for either, but Overprepared can be quite strong with what we're trying to pull off here. Create a random equipment in hand to cost 2 less, and we'll be happy enough to start with it. Very attack-heavy style deck with what we're doing. We can put it on to Tentacles, get double stats across our units. Lots of really good stuff happening there. So the enemy's legendary power, the foe adds a random item to each card at their deck at the start of the game, and then the standard Poppy power, round start, grant the foe's strongest ally 1/1 for each of the other allies. All right, let's slam all these stats on each other since we have no interactive spells in our deck. I guess we have Tentacle Smash. I take it back. We have one, and we might need it here early. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it. If we play the Grumble Slug on turn 1 and then attack, we get the spawn 3. Might be able to use that to bolster our board with these Tentacle Smashes. I'm not really amped about dropping the Darkened Aegis just yet. All right, we'll take this burst attack from the Eye of Nagakaboros. Come in for 8 damage. Now we're kind of ready to pop off with Illaoi. Oh, I was like, that's a very quick Poppy. How did he get that thing down so fast? But it's just a Yordle Smith. Gotcha. He's got Elusive on there as well, so no blocking for us. Looks like there's definitely not going to be any blocking for us. But I think we can lethal this round. Nothing wrong with that. We can wait before we drop an Eye of Nagakaboros. Alright, we're going to have a 9-power Tentacle, then we can Tentacle Smash after. Okay, I think we're good. Ally strikes an enemy if it survives, stun it. So we could get it, we can get up to 8. F. That's too bad. Well, still want to get a tentacle on board. So let's take down an elusive. Oh, was that big enough to kill her? Oh, it's only a 2/2. I'm still in the 3/3 mode of the 3/3 mode of the spawns, if you will. All right. Well, just Illaoi then. It's like we'll take a little bit more damage. We played this start a little sloppy, but that kind of is what it is when there's so many champions running around now. All right, so we're taking at least 8. No way to stop these elusives, but should be able to close this down after this turn.
I'll make you proud.
I don't think we care about Poppy.
Storm's brewing. Storm's always brewing.
I don't say this often, but don't be a hero. I've got a new tactic.
So we can just block Poppy with anything if she comes in. Grumble Slug, you fought hard. You fought well, but you're not surviving the day. And now we should be pretty strong otherwise.
We sail ever forward.
So I want to start with something like this. We'll wait and see if we need to Eye of Nagakaboros or anything, but it looks like we've got a lethal up to this point. All right. Nagakaboros. Good stuff. All right, let's see if we can't find some of that interactivity everyone's just clamoring for. Gotta find something. So what do we got? Crumble could technically do it. It's a decent enough removal spell. The downside with Crumble is so much of your board tends to get built from tentacles that's your only unit, your only way that you have to like sacrifice off, right? You'll just have a board with just like a tentacle and nothing else. But it seems kind of necessary at this point just to have something, just anything to come out and kill an opposing unit. So we'll take the Crumble. I'm not excited about it, but it's the best we have for now. All right, and I'm not opposed to picking up Udyr. The stance swaps tend to be pretty okay. They let us have a way to pick up Overwhelm to slam on the tentacle without having to use the Sea's Voice. And so I'm kind of interested there. This middle set with the Aurelion Soul, not super interested in. Just a little bit too expensive for my tastes, I'm sorry. And then the Evelyn, it does have like some usage, right? We can have domination down, and then the tentacles will get the +1 attack. But I feel like if you take Evelyn, you have to just like heavily move into an Evelyn build, and we're not going to quite want to do that. She also has a free attack attached to her, and she's just going to die as soon as she comes down. And so I'm okay enough with Udyr. I wish he was a little bit more interactive, but he's a strong enough unit nonetheless. All right, then we have a champion chest down to the bottom. I think that's where we want to go. I don't remember what Boxtopus is, but it's not as good as a champion chest, and so we'll head down that way. All right, so the Tom Kench, he gets a mana gem. Oh, round start he gets a mana gem. Got it. And then when the foe summons a unit, give it O2. I think we should just be bigger than the tentacles the whole time. Like, I don't ultimately worry too much about Tom Kench. I think our units will be big enough to not worry about him, and then we have Crumbles to kill him once he's been able to eat a unit or two. If we put the Darkened Harp onto the idol, do we get to attack? We don't. We don't. I checked for you. It's not the way it works. All right, Tom Kench comes in. Yeah, he does have a ton of stats. Ain't no denying that. All right, get that dum-dum out of here. Oh, he's got another one in hand? He just starts with 2? F. That's not bad. He just immediately gets it now as well. You used to have to wait a turn on the acquired taste, but whew, that's kind of scary. Got a fresh crumble though. All right, I think we're good. Now at least if he wants to go for the strikes on our units, we're going to have enough stats to where the Tahm Kench will just die. So he doesn't take a block. Now we get a rally. LOL. We should be good to finish. Well, I guess he does get an acquired taste this round, but he at least can't block our tentacle coming back in. The tentacle is just going to be lethal at this point. Give me that Illaoi back. That was a really slow animation. I didn't think we were going to get our Illaoi, but we're good. We're good.
Look at this, boys. All real estate.
All right, easy battle, easy game. That was what I was saying. You got to get some interactivity. It wasn't excited about Crumble, but it did everything we needed it to do. So sometimes it doesn't need to be good. It just needs to be not bad.
You spurred my gift.
Cool. That's what I like with the Illaoi decks, coming in for a nice 50 damage attack. That's some good stuff right there. All right, so Buru leader, perfect. The tentacles are 1-cost allies, so the Buru leader is good. We could look to pick up a Whirling Death, I guess. If we didn't have Crumble, I would most certainly be picking up Whirling Death, but the leader is going to be okay. We picked up our 1 interactive spell. I feel pretty good about it, so we can move forward. Right. So interesting set. I typically lean towards picking up barriers because Illaoi wants to get into combat, and if she dies in combat, you struggle to win a lot of games. And so I lean towards barrier. There is spell shield though, which is of course another protective element. But I mean, I don't know, right? We're up against all these kind of random champions, and so we may be able to pick and choose the ones that can't just outright kill her with a spell. And so let's go with the barrier for the most part. Cool. So on to Caitlyn. What are you going to do? Round end, grant the foe's units 1/1. Okay, then the standard one, round start, plant flash bomb traps. Not too scared about the traps here. Our tentacles tend to be big enough to ignore them all. Okay. So what are we doing here? I think this is all a reasonable keep. I'm going to get rid of the Sea's Voice just to see if we can't pick up a spell. You don't have a lot of spells, but it's like as soon as you play the Illaoi and we get all that mana back, I'd like to be able to spend the mana. But I guess the stance swaps are pretty good with this Illaoi set that we have. I didn't stop and think about that, but if we play the Illaoi, get the mana, and then drop a stance swap, that's not horrible. I'm going to go ahead and take the tentacle attack now. It's not a particularly strong one, but I wanted to get that spawn 3 because it gets us really close to having a lethal on this turn. Right, so here's Illaoi. Gives us all that mana back. If she's going to flip, we just outright win the game. That's pretty cool. But I think... Well, we'll probably just win with an Overwhelm. I was going to say, we have this glaive in hand. We could put the glaive down and then play an Answered Prayer. But I think the Overwhelm on the tentacle is probably enough to get a kill. Get boomed. GG. Get used to this movie. We're going to be seeing it a lot. Good stuff. Naga Kaporo smiles upon victory. Alright, so what do we got now? Plundered Tentacle Smashes sounds okay. I think I'm leaning more towards this Shaman's Call, though, right? We've already got 2 in our deck, and then the end of turn reduce the cost is quite strong. So if we can get this down to costing like 3 or 4 mana, and then popping them off the turn that we play Illaoi, I could see that to be quite good. The Tentacle Smashes, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's like, I think the majority of the time we want to like preemptively Tentacle Smash instead of playing it after combat. I don't think we're going to get a lot of usage for it. So, Shaman's Call it is. Onto the Adaptron, buying some mechs. Not initially amped about any of this stuff. It takes us pretty far away from our Tentacles theme. So I don't think I want to add any of these in. Our curve is pretty good at this point as well. So I'm going to leave that one behind. On to the next one. It's a standard shop or a healer. Kind of leaning towards the healer just to come in and cut something out. Make it a little easier to draw our crumbles. Okay, I'm on board. Got a card. Where'd you go? The Sandhopper. Just doesn't do anything in our deck. All right, on to Sejuani. She's a little bit scary. The Frostbites can be kind of problematic here, but I think we'll be okay. And so the first time the foe's Nexus would run out of health, it heals back to 30, gives their allies everywhere 1/1. That's fine. And then when the normal one, when the foe summons a unit, grant it +1/+1. It's a little scary, but whoa. Can't play any of that on the first turn. I mean, yeah, we have the attack token. Let's go ahead and full mulligan. Look for an answered prayer or something that we can play on the first turn so that we can start getting the spawns.
Our eyes lead to hidden paths. We see the path.
Oh, need to play the harpoon. I was wanting to save it for a unit, but this makes it big enough to now kill the Ruthless Raider. Nice. Very good, I tell you.
The winter's claw strikes.
How big are you? 4'2"? That's not big enough, my friend.
Sail if you can, swim if you must.
Bowman. We're not gonna deck ourselves, are we? That's something worth looking at. We got 22 cards left. We'll be okay. I'm worried about all these attacks with this Darken Harpoon. None of these look particularly strong. What I'm looking at now, I'm just going to go ahead and take the attack, get the damage in. I'll put the stance swap on to the tentacle so that it gets the regenerate. It shouldn't need it, but like if we're going to roll into the next turn or like their next attack and he's like, oh, cool, here's my like 20 power Sejuani, then we might actually be able to do combat with her if we have the healthy tentacle running around. Or at least be enough to not just get straight murdered.
There is truth in blood.
And Illaoi. Tried to call our shot, wasn't good enough.
The sea is fathomless. Pain is not.
Interesting. He plays Sejuani, but does not target the tentacle. That's a strategy, you know. I'm a big fan of having a strategy. This wasn't a particularly good one, but you know, he at least had a strategy. You want to just take lethal number 1? I don't know how this thing works. If he heals to 30 and then takes the rest of the damage, or if like the combat just ends and he heals and we have to go through another attack. Ideally, when we get this last hit, we'll just come in with an Illaoi and then get a rally and be able to immediately come right back in. All right, she gives it the thumbs up.
The sea she calls, the world we answer.
I think we're good. Is this just ended some negative number? It says neg 6, so I guess that was enough. He finished at 3. I guess we could. I think I understand how that works now. Shouldn't matter here unless he has a flash freeze, but.
Maybe when I've crashed my own ship. So, never.
All right, got him. Let's see, so we're wanting to take more Illaois. These aren't like super compelling, super compelling cards to be putting on her, but I don't feel like we need to reroll. They aren't horrible. I think we don't need Fearsome since she already has Overwhelm. We'll just take +1/+1. Okay, on to the powers. Like the time and dedication is kind of interesting since we have that free weapon every turn, but it just seems like that's going to be too slow. We're going to win the games before those things happen, so let's just pick up the black market discount. Maybe we'll make the Shaman's Calls super cheap. And here we have an epic item champion item chest up top. I was really, like, I'm okay with doing battle with Karma. Like, we have the expensive stuff to be able to deal with her. We don't have the removal that you typically want, right? You want to get that Karma off the board as soon as you can. But I think we could just go toe-to-toe with her with stats. It is worth watching out with her. She is going to come down flipped immediately, so she's going to be like 20/20. I think she's a 5/5 or a 5/4 on the flip side, so she'll come down and double twice. But we're gonna be staying away from this anyways, just because the item chest is up here at the top. So on to battle with Fiora. Round end, the foe's units get 1/1, and then when the foe's allies challenge something, you give their dude tough. The old 4-mana Fiora now. The 3-mana days are gone. The 4-mana Fiora is what's what's out of here happening. I imagine. I think Ruben Zhu is technically the balance lead. I'm not entirely certain. I think he's the lead. He has to walk down to the Path of Champions office and say like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry. We're gonna change Fiora. I hope that doesn't mess up your plans." But I'm sure it was all okay. So I'm sure they say, "Sure, Ruben Zhu, anything you need, my friend." That's probably the end of the conversation, right? Not bad. Getting these booms in with the tentacle. He's going to have a good hook into the Buru leader. I'm not particularly worried about that. We're going to be slamming in so much damage on the next turn that he's pretty ignorable.
Spirits of the land, hear my call.
Ooh. Fiora is very stat heavy. I mean, we have the crumble in hand, so it's not the end of the world, but a little scared of what's happening there. Here we go. A nice stance for the tentacle. Maybe, I mean, do we want to just go ahead and attack with everyone else? Get to punch in. He's like, we're gonna have no Udirs, but we get basically a free stance at the end. I'm not getting really excited about the words coming out of my mouth. About to get excited about this, though. Bring this crumble in on Fiora. We're going to lose our tentacle. It's kind of sad, but...
Everything I've worked for.
We have everything we need to finish this one off. So we'll just put the tentacle on board to get the stats. This will be a 10 damage open next turn. Then we'll have the opportunities to Buru leader and give the tentacles overwhelm. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, oops, these are free as soon as they come down. I thought we were just going to get the stances. It's not going to matter, but... I wanted to make sure they were at least partially free. Alright, the overwhelm coming in. Got a cat coming in too. Alright. Watch the animations, watch the Buru leader. GG.
I won't back down.
Cool.
Our rage is beyond your control.
We used to offer up lunches to each other whenever we were at work. You would do something fucked up, or you messed up, and it caused someone else some anguish. You knew that they were going to be doing extra work or covering your ass or something. You can't just give them money, right? You can't say, "Hey Billy, sorry I gave you some undue stress at work. Here's $20." And so we would just buy them lunch, right? You could say that. Say, "Hey man, sorry, I messed up. I know it's going to cause you some trouble. Let me buy you lunch to make up for it." And so I just assumed Ruben Zoo had to go down there and buy the entire Path of Champions department lunch. Make sure that they make sure that they know that he brought them a little sadness and he was aware of it. But here, this is quite strong. Getting Draw Me if you don't have in the opener. Just Illaoi is such an important and pivotal part of our deck. Making sure that we have one every game is quite good. So here we got this Heal the Nexus thing again. That's okay. And then when the player's units have Nexus Strike, create a fleeting Blade's Edge in the foe's hand. So this tends to lean towards just having like one OTK attack. We probably can't pull that off with this deck because we need to be leveling up our tentacles, but that's a strategy you can take against Jen, is to just like wait until you have this full board. Don't let him get any of the Blade's Edges until you're good and ready.
I can do this.
But I'm going to want to get some tentacles here. Gosh. Here he is. This cat's over here meowing. I'm going to hurt myself trying to pick him up. He's he's very muscular, is what I like to say. He's very muscular. He's overweight. He's on the special kitty diet food. Don't be thinking that the bus doesn't care about his kitties because he talks trash. I care about them quite a bit, but you know, he's on the overweight end of the spectrum, and so I assume that it brings him much grief. All right, but what are we gonna do with this board? If we want to get rid of this Jen, we need to break this spell shield. We can break the spell shield with the inner beast. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards now. So we say put the inner beast on the tentacle. Then we do the stance swap. Now that we picked up Illaoi, I'm not nearly as worried about this board, but I was kind of envisioning us playing a what do you call it? A tentacle smash onto the Jen. Just don't have any desire or need to now. Now with this, there's no reason to bank spell mana. We're just going to drop Illaoi next turn. So we'll go ahead and add the other dude. Drop Illaoi, gain a bunch of mana. Get ready to boom.
Truth better. Truth is no bad thing.
I will allow for no mercy.
Okay, give the kitty some pets while we wait on these animations to hit. And then I think we should be good. So the idea here is we're going to get to like attack, and then we'll pop that ability because our Illaoi's going to level. Are we short of Illaoi leveling here? No. Yeah, she's one short. F. I mean, it's okay, but it's not the way I was anticipating this going. Why does Jen survive this? What? Illaoi's hitting him for 18, and he still survives it? I don't know. This Oracle's Eye seems all kinds of fucked up. Illaoi is rallying, though, now. What is different? I don't know. I'm bringing it. I'm just gonna do it like this. I don't know. Whatever, man. You tell me. I'm not gonna be the one to figure it out. But she's hitting for 13, right? So he should. Oh, is it because of the heal thing? He dies at the same time as the Nexus, and so he gets 1 health after the fact? Something weird? I don't know. Looks like we're about to get him for 60, so... I think that's enough. I think it's enough. GG. Nagakaboro smiles upon victory. So what do we got? More Buru leaders? I mean, he's fine, but we don't really need to draw a lot of these. You all know how I am. I really do enjoy a good Battle Fury, though. I don't think this is the kind of place where we're going to need it, but, you know, given the opportunity to Battle Fury, I'm going to take it. Now, onto the powers. We talked about this time and dedication. I don't really want it. These other cards, all very expensive. Don't think we want any of this. Let's start re-rolling powers. Allies have +1 attack is fantastic. Much space is still out here. What is this? A champion item chest? Maybe like 1 more opportunity to spend mana? Let's do 1 reroll on these cards. There's not like a lot that I feel like we actually need, but we might come across something cool. Disintegrate could be exceptionally good. We don't have a lot of great ways to like pop off this Disintegrate, but we're about to go up against Aurelion Soul, and so it could be useful there. Also looking at Dust Up Diplomacy, you draw 1, deal 1 to the all enemies and the enemy nexus, and then you summon a 1-cost dude. Then you shuffle these back into your deck and have more. I kind of like this as well. It's a much better way for us to be breaking Aurelion Soul spell shields. And it's like, then if you pick those, do you want the Disintegrates? That is a nice combo, but I feel like that's getting further away from what our deck really wants to be doing. And so I'm going to go ahead and let that one go. Come battle Lee Sin so we can get this champion item chest. Let's see what we're getting into. The mana gem one, okay. Then when the foe's units attack, create 2 resonating strikes. Got it. All right, we don't have the turn 2 attack token here, but I think I still want a mulligan and try and find a 2-drop. This deck can come at you fast if you're not watching for him. Oh, just starting with the Lee Sin, huh? Oh, he's a big boy, that's for certain. Well, I don't want to just take 10, so we'll let him do the free resonating strikes, lose the Grumble Slug. Hopefully we can just continue to block him for a few rounds. This could be a space to where we just Tentacle Smash but don't target Lee, so we just get the unit. I think that's where I stand. We're not going to get a lot done this turn, but I want to make sure that we still get the Tentacle down and built up.
I won't stand by. You are brave, young one.
All right. fuck is this thing? Quick attack.
We move against fear, against doubt.
You're a coward. I won't stand by. You are brave.
Alright, well his attack's about to come in. Nothing we could do about it, but we're reasonably strong with Illaoi on the board. Taking 7. Probably taking 11 if he's resonating, striking his outer units. Okay, so that combat ends. Now we can play the Eye of Nagakaboros and pick up a tentacle. I mean, or we could enter Beast. We could save that for next turn if we want, but we have the opportunity to enter Beast and get the stance swap, then play Udyr next turn. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and add in the tentacle. All right, there's the crumble for Lee Sin. It's going to be our easiest way to deal with him. But what can we do with the Shaman's Calls? I don't like it. I'm looking to just do this. We're going to crumble, take down the Lee Sin. Oh shit, he's got another one in hand. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. I was just kind of envisioning we were going to be able to take down the Lee Sin here. We have a good hook onto his other unit. Oh boy, he just had to deny. Can we stop the dragon kick? Ah, Jesus. I mean, the downside here is we're just like so far away from actually killing him, right? We have decent attacks like this, right? We can take care of his units that aren't Lee Sin. That's going to give us a flip. Then we can attack again and come at the Lee Sin with Illaoi. Like, I think this is the way we're going to have to go about it. Our tentacle's not dead, right? And then we can pop his barrier with the Dust Up Diplomacy. I don't know, man. This doesn't feel like a winner. This doesn't feel like a winner. We should have played this first, right? We could have dealt an extra 2 damage on this attack. Oh shit, we just lethal like this? Oh shit. I mean, yeah, that's planned it that way the whole time. Planned it, yeah. That would have been good. I didn't realize the diplomacy was going to give us a bonus unit that we could hook Lee Sin with. All right. I thought our run was done. What do we got? More Buru leaders we don't need. The one-cost Battle Furies are pretty tempting, but it's not going to be good enough. I mean, the first one should be enough to end the game. We're not shuffling these into our deck and playing more of them. Kind of leading towards just the Subworks map as a way to get that one-cost unit, get a one-cost unit on the board on the first turn, just to make sure we have another way to get it going. All right, then heal the Nexus is what I'm going to go for here. I still feel like these other ones are necessary, right? Our Illaoi's big enough to not need Ninja Tabbies. The Strike is okay, but I'm more worried about just coming out and dying. And so I think we're good to come into the healer. I don't want to cut anything at this point. Like, we could cut the Grumble Slug, but I feel like we need that cheap play. We could cut the Subworks map. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with all this other stuff, so I'm just going to heal. On to Fizz. So what was this? The foe adds a random item to every card, okay. And then the foe creates in hand a fleeting spell that costs 3 or less from the regions, costs 1 less. Sounds like an ability Seraphine would love to have. Oh, I'm so tired of Seraphine. I'll let my my Seraphine complaints exit the world of Constructed and make their way over to the Path of Champions. Picking up 2 Illaois when we have this ability isn't the most exciting thing we could do. Right? When you have draw her, if she's not in your opening hand, you don't want to start with 2. This is fine. We can trade the tentacle for Fizz if he's really that interested. He's not that interested. Can he like counterspell this Dust Up Diplomacy? It doesn't target, right? I don't think I'm that interested. Alright, he puts a Flame Spitter on Fizz. I'm getting a little scared. The Fizz and the Lee Sin have a lot of abilities that you really need to be able to interact with, and we can't do it. Whew. Well, I guess the thing we can look to do is Shaman's Call, and then do a bunch of 1 damage AoEs. That should be enough, right? Yeah, get that Fizz out of here. Now I feel better. I definitely feel better. So we're going to have to go ahead and put some heal onto the tentacle, and then we can protect it from this attack with the Eye of Nagakaboros. Oh, he just doesn't even bother. Okay. Now I think we're good. Fortunately, we don't have the flips for Illaoi this turn. But ooh, we can get really close though. Right? If we play Illaoi, we get all of our spell mana back. And then we can play the Shaman's Call afterwards, and that'll get our tentacle up to 15. Okay. Sounds good. Well, here comes the thunder, my friend. I hope you're ready for this. 37 coming at you along with a rally. All right. Get boomed. Ooh, these Shaman's Calls have been pretty choice. I'm not gonna lie. It's so easy to forget about that 1 damage AoE. Like I play a not an unreasonable amount of Udyr, but probably more than the average person that plays Udyr and Constructed, and I'm impressed by it all the time. It's like everybody just forgets that that's a thing and then just get annihilated by it. But we're definitely upgrading our Illaois. I don't think we want the free attack one. She's not that good unless she's attacking with the tentacle, and so like a 1 spawn doesn't feel that good. She would be protected because she has barrier, but I think we just want to make her cost less. On to the powers. Oof. Ooh, these are some good ones. So what's this? The first card you play each round costs 1 less for every 20 cards that started in your deck. That's fine. The hold them off is of course quite good. And then when you play a slow spell, copy it. We haven't really built our deck towards slow and steady, right? This is one that's like really powerful if you get it as your first power, and then you can look at your deck and say like, okay, I do want to take like all of the item stacked Answered Prayers and all of the item stacked Tentacle Slams, and then you can really build up to that. But I feel like at this point we haven't done it, and so it's not going to do anything. And then my big worry is again just getting hit with like the Lee Sins of the world, and so with the hold them off, able to frostbite their stuff, if we can use this to frostbite his 40/40 Aurelion Soul, then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. Going with that one. What's this? A shop or a healer? We're at full. What's Lulu doing? Transforming. She does tend to transform the tentacle over and over again. That's a little annoying. Shuffling level 2 champions, I'm not that worried about. But the big double attacking Dravens can be a little worrisome. I think I'd still rather just fight Draven.
Welcome to the League of
It is like all those champions he plays are gonna get like the double stats, but I kind of like worked in my head. It's like, well, those champions are gonna just like dilute his game plan, and it's not gonna really help with what he's trying to pull off, and so it's probably okay. And then now I'm like I'm a little bit more worried about it than than I was.
Don't get in my way.
We just dead? This is why I was a little worried about it. Seeing things like Lucian just come down with his. He didn't double twice though. Oh, because he was already leveled up, so he doesn't come down, hit the board, and then level up. Okay. So we're just gonna take 16? I think so. Oh, Jesus. Oh, we're just dead. Oh, wow. Well, that was one way to go about it. Just get killed on the first turn. Maybe we should have blocked Lucian, or nothing at all. Maybe we should not have just given him the turn 1 OTK with the rally. All right, let's try that again.
Welcome to the League of Draven.
Wow. Maybe we should have gone down the Lulu path. But granted, I don't think we'll be running into the likes of turn 1 Lucian too frequently. It was a pretty big high roll. All right, we get the turn 1 attack token now as well. Get to pop off just a little bit in terms of getting our tentacles in. Nice. Much better start. We can attack and get a value hit on an opponent's only unit, or we can get OTK'd by Lucian. Now, you tell me which is better. I'm not entirely certain, but I don't know. I don't know which one is better.
New day, new sun.
Now we're probably just pretty close to lethal, right? Just such a turn of events. So we can get all the Udyrs down, and then we can look to crumble something maybe. It's like if we crumble the Draven, he's just going to get it right back. But it's kind of nice to have the Draven on the board because he's just going to get frostbitten as the next turn starts. But I think we're just going to be short there. We still have pretty good hooks this round. Might be lethal. I think it's short of lethal, but we can still take down the Draven with the Udyr that's gonna disappear. The rest of our friends get to come in and attack. Ooh, that is lethal. Nice. I planned it that way. So, all right, nice to get out of that one. That was the one that makes me feel like pretty good that revives are in the game. When you run into a turn 1 8-power double striking Lucian and just get killed, and you're like, oh, maybe I get another shot out of this. I feel like the last hour wasn't just lost, to where it's not like I just have a bad deck, right? It's a nice little bit of variance protection. All right, what are we doing with these? Not real excited about any of this stuff. We'll just pick up the Sumpworks map. I don't know. Maybe we take the Sea's Voice. It's just a unit. I'm not excited about any of those. It's like as we come up to this healer, I'm pretty tempted to just like, now that we picked up the Sea's Voice, to just go and cut it from our deck. We just don't need the overwhelms, right? We have so many ways to get overwhelmed that I don't think it's that important.
Fight for the first land.
Okay, so the foe shuffles the 10 level 2 cost champions into their deck. They cost 1 less. Got it. We learned about that one from Draven. And then when the foe blade dances, they grant their strongest unit 1/1 and it attacks with the blades. And so this is the kind of thing with the shuffle the champions in. Like on this Targon's Peak, to where they're so strong, it's like I'm happy to. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I think it's okay, right? It's like he has all those champions in his deck that just don't work with blade dances, but they're still strong. So.
Coming at ya.
Play Aurelia this turn? He can. So let's go ahead and take this slow. I'm going to look to crumble his Aurelia and then see if we can't OTK next turn.
I dance not to forget, but to remember.
It is a pretty big Aurelia. I concede that. So with this next turn, we can look to... We can do quite a bit. Like we're 100% playing Illaoi. But then it's like we have options. We can dust up Diplomacy, get the card, kill off the thing that gets summoned. But I think, well, we're probably going to want to dust up Diplomacy anyways, because we'll still have the mana to Shaman's Call after. Okay, this should get us the kill. So we get the unit. Now we drop the Darkened Halberd, kill an ally. You, equip to you. Glad we didn't do that backwards. And now the Shaman's Call comes in. Give the big boost to the Tentacle. He'll be at exactly 15 this round. Oh, we just don't have the attack token? Shit. Well, I guess we can still do this with an open. I thought that we had the attack token there as well. All right, we're still good. Right, the Illaoi flips coming through. All right, let's just make it lethal on the attack. I completely thought we had the attack token there. I was ready to just send everybody in. Whew. All right. Top of the peak. Let's see what we can do. Boom.
Look and see the glory of Nagakaboros.
Look and see the glory of Nagakaboros. Oh shit! There's more champions. God, I thought we were at Aurelion Soul already. Jesus. Okay. Well, do we want any of this stuff? I don't really want more Buru Lookouts. Let's just give this a reroll. These are all pretty bad. Three Sisters I can definitely get behind having. It's a little expensive, but we need some of that interactivity. Okay, so they shuffle champions in, okay, and then when the foe attacks, they play Super Mega Death Rocket. I don't remember that being a thing. That's pretty scary. All right, so something like this. Just make sure that we have early stuff that we can drop on the board. We have the Shaman's Call to start cheapening up. And then when a Illaoi comes down, we should be ready for these attacks.
Let's change the world.
No one likes you, Seraphine. Why don't you just go away? Alright, well, we should at least get reasonable attacks out of the Tentacle. It's big enough to survive a Seraphine if that's who he decides to block with, right? It's going to have 6 health. So, We'll see if that's the way he goes. It's probably just really good for us seeing him play jury rigs. Just fill out his board with pure garbage.
Just you and me, Fishbones. And them.
Stand and be tested.
Alright, so he's done some stuff. We can't block Jinx with Illaoi because she'll just die. But, I mean, maybe we want to. It's like, how many of these do we have in our deck? We got 6 Illaois with 35 cards. It's not a great chance of drawing her, but we do get a lot of shots at it. It's probably safest to just go ahead and lose the tentacle.
Good fight.
I mean, it's like we have the Shaman's Call, but we're going to be a little bit short of getting this big combo turn to where we get the tentacle up to size. Uru Leader certainly helps, though. So we probably need to save that for next turn. It's just, right, it's going to be a 7. We can get it up to +4 this turn, which is going to be 13. Not quite enough to get those sweet lethals that we're looking for. It's probably still the way to go for it, though. Well, do we need to get some width? What's he going to do? Hit us with a bunch of daring poros that we don't care about? My main concern is Jinx, but she should stay frostbitten the rest of the way. And we do have Dust Up Diplomacy if he comes in and starts dropping a bunch of poros. And so maybe we just look to do the Shaman's Call, keep that 1 mana banked up for the Dust Up, and then we can try to we can try to AoE down his board if that's what we need to protect ourselves with. All right, then he has these very weak units just asking to get hit with a asking to get hit with these attacks. Oh, she did just flip. I forget that her attacks count, and so we get that extra bit of damage in that way. All right, we're just lethal. I have it stuck in my head that she just flips whenever she sees tentacles strike, and it doesn't actually count her own. But all right, we're fine. Good job, Illaoi. It's just like there's so many champions in the path now. I'm not complaining about that, but and trying to make content for this, you tend to just like cycle through the same ones quite a bit as you try to cover off on their entire path. But with like the release of the last patch, when they're like, boom, here's like 6 champions, and the release of this one where there's like, boom, here's another 6, I just haven't had the opportunity to stay as current as I would like. But there, we took the Frostbite thing. It's cheap. We're not having any trouble with like running out of cards in hand and things to do, and so having that Frostbite could be kind of pivotal in shutting down one of his big singular units. So Aurelion Sol, he gets the mana gems every turn, and then round end, the foe summons a random level 2 champion with a cost equal to their max mana. All right. Big time. Big stuff coming at us. Let's hope our tentacles are bigger. What do you got? This is not good early game stuff. Say, give me that grumble slug. Make sure I got something. I don't think we want to block this one. I'm trying to envision how this all plays out, and it's like I want to. Oh, this is actually a really great dust up diplomacy. It's like I want to like save Illaoi for our next attack. I don't really want to play Illaoi on this upcoming turn, and then have her as a blocker for this shit like massive Darius. That's insane. Dude is huge. So maybe we do bring her in. The kind of key thing is on our next turn we'll have access to the three sisters flash freeze, and I'll feel a lot safer then. So this also sets us up for, I know we've been making all of these plays with the Shaman's Call, but this sets us up to a place to where we can get kills with the Battle Fury, which is what everyone should be striving for in their life. That's what everyone should be doing.
Not so fast.
All right, we're in a decent spot now. Well, it's a little scary with this Tryndamere. He hit like the giant overwhelmers right from the start. So we can't crumble Tryndamere. We have to hit him with the three sisters. I think it's okay. The thing we're going to be looking at is on our next turn if we can both Battle Fury and Sumpworks map. And it's going to cost 4 and 2. That's 8 mana. So we can do it if we only spend 4 mana this turn. So I think we're in the clear. So right, we'll put the Harpoon onto Dum Dum here. He comes in with his 2 expensives. We'll block the Aurelion Soul. Now we can come in and flash freeze Tryndamere. This won't flip our Illaoi. Don't want to get a rally on this turn. Now we should be in the clear. Can our tentacles and stuff even survive this shit? Ugh. I mean, this is kind of our saving grace, is being able to hook in the Envious Fox. And so the way I think we need to do this is we need this hook to happen so that we can attack with Illaoi and have her not die. And then it's like, I want to put the Battle Fury onto the tentacle, but we're getting more damage at the end of the day if we're putting that Battle Fury onto. No, that's right. It'll come over to Illaoi twice. Did we just do that backwards? No, it's okay. Do that, and we hit an elusive. Get that extra bit of damage in. Okay. See how our opponent can ruin our day with this. I gotta have something in here. He's probably gonna be like, LOL, here's a supernova. But at least as things stand right now, we're set up to take this one down. Deals 15 to all enemies.
Anyone for some stardust?
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, we had it set up as best we could. I don't think we have any way out of this now. I think we're out of revives. I think our run has fallen short. Let's see. Maybe he'll do something dumb, though. I don't know the amount of something dumb he would have to be putting forth to fail out of this spot, but we'll see. We'll see. There you go. Erase more of your units with the messenger.
Our eyes lead to hidden paths.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. All right. Just attack. Just attack. Just get it over with. Okay. Damn. That's tough. I wonder if we go back to that one choice we had where we took the barrier over the spell shield, if that would have been enough to carry us through the end there. Man, always unfortunate to make it to the final boss and get killed, but it was okay. It was a nice learning experience for everyone. I feel like we really hit on the adventure itself, and then a lot of what you end up running into with Illaoi. Just you have these really super fast OTK style things to where you're getting these big attacks in with the tentacle. I'd like to play Illaoi with the rally so that we get those attacks in twice. But the big thing that your deck is really lacking is having ways to interact with your opponent. And so that's why we took the Crumble. We were happy to have Three Sisters, just having some kind of way to stop your opponent from doing whatever it is they're doing just for the shortest amount of time, right? And that's the typical problem you have with her. She has some kind of like mid-rangey stuff in your deck that you don't really want. But as long as you're able to maintain a very cheap curve, stack the Illaois with your champion items, and then find something to interact with your opponent with, you should be in pretty good shape. And so we weren't victorious today. We were not able to achieve victory, but I had fun. I hope you had fun too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope we maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Busted Me. Thank you for being here.